Everything in your life is technically just a result of the exact way you think. Because what you see becomes how you act, and it becomes the parameters for how you act and what you can do and what you won't do and what you know how to do and what you don't. And psychology really shows you is it helps break down your brain into like essentially the codes that it runs off of. And you'll see this all the time in like the gym industry. People will talk about like habits or mental states or beliefs or psychology. They'll talk about it a little more often because they had to change the way they had to think to be able to achieve this new like shape or physique, right? And that essentially goes for anything. If you want to land a good job, you need to change your psychology in a way that's presentable and really shows how much success you can really bring to the table. Because psychology is really the blueprint behind every action, everything that you do. It's the references, it's your emotional state, it's your patterns, it's like your habit, it's your values, your beliefs, your the things you reference that form your beliefs. There's so much to psychology. And if you don't like the result of where you are right now, that's because that's not because you don't have the skills or the confidence. I mean, sure, those things do help, but everything is a direct result of your psychology multiplied by your consistency, right? If I wanted to start running every day, I had this problem. I hated running. I hated doing it all the time. And but I wanted to run because I wanted the result of running every day. I wanted to improve my cardio. I have asthma, so it makes cardio terrible, right? So I just hated running. But I decided to change the way I thought about it, change the way I started doing it, and made it simple. I was able to stick to it, and I've been sticking to it ever since. Cardio 3 times a week for 20 to 30 minutes. All because I changed the way I thought about it. Whenever I would think about it before, I'd I'd be like blocked by all these negative thoughts, feelings, whatever. Changed the way I thought to more positive, more beneficial, helpful, and then I made it easy to enter, low barrier of entry, and I was able to continue this habit for a while. That's just an example. It goes a lot deeper, but that's just the basics of it, right? And sometimes all you really need is the basics, right? Some of my favorite tricks are like lowering the barrier to entry, making it easy to start, setting out your shoes in the morning or getting yourself a water bottle, getting yourself food afterwards, or making sure you're properly fed beforehand, eating lots of carbs, right? Just stuff to fuel you, right? And I find that if you also make the pain of not doing it higher, like having some sort of accountability or someone to hold you accountable during action, that makes it harder to exit. So now you have a low barrier of entry, you have a hard exit, and if you can adjust your beliefs, values, and the overall pleasure you're going to get from running while running, you are going to enjoy it. This goes for several different what do you want to call it? Goals, I guess I could say. It's all about how you frame things. The frame of mind you have while you enter determines whether or not you're going to exit. Because either you're building pain while you're doing the action or you're building pleasure. You don't want to have to run from pain all the time to hit your goals, and you don't want to just run towards pleasure. Otherwise, sometimes people will inevitably just end up quitting, right? Because the fuel doesn't last forever. You need both. You need like a system set in place that works for you specifically. This is not a pitch or anything, but it's just you need to reflect more often. How can I make this easy to enter? How can I make it easy to exit? And how can I follow through with the idea? And how can I make doing it itself not necessarily easy, but not miserable, somewhat decent, knowing that it's going towards something, just generally positive mindsets around that action itself, knowing that it's going to yield something eventually, knowing that it's going to benefit you. And ultimately, these goals through the right frame of mind are what make people successful ultimately. You just have to think about it. Maybe study a little bit of psychology, Never know. Never know what you could find that could really help you.